Today, the topic was written by Anne, one of our members, and she said that she'd like a topic on the inability to focus on too many other things that are going on. Now, one of the things that I think is really important for you to understand is how you tick, right? And realize that there's nothing wrong with you, okay? We have been brought up in a society and in a way that is supposed to be like really productive, right? And very focused. So anybody that isn't focused, we're deemed as wrong or, somehow off a little bit. And so we think that about ourselves. And so something that I want to let you know is that you got to throw that away because it's really not true. It's something that happened when schools kind of came to be, right? School wasn't always school, right? There used to be where you lived on a farm, or you worked at your family, like, what is that called? Something Smith, right? With iron, right? You worked with iron smithing, God help me, but you know what I mean, right? Everybody had like a trade and most people were on farms, right? And so life was very, very different then. Then came factories, and we needed people to be able to sit still for, I think back then it was 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, right? They worked 6 days a week, and I think 12 hours a day was minimum. So we needed people to do that. Before that time, if you were, somebody that maybe, daydreamed or whatever, you might have got yourself in trouble now and then, but there were real specific things to do. And if you knew your specific things to do, just like us, organizationally challenged people who are more right-brained than left-brained, when we know what we need to do, we do it. That's why so many people who are organizationally challenged at home, like a wreck maybe, always late for everything, tends to be really on top of their game at work. A lot of my people have told me that at work they're praised for their organization, and they say to me if they ever came in my front door, they would never believe it. They would never believe that I live like I live. Everybody thinks I've got it all together. And that's because there's an order of operations at work. It's not like we can't do things. And most of us have, like spearheaded lots of things, like maybe been the head of PTA, head of children's church in work, the head of some sort of organization or job or something that had to get done with a group of people. And we could lead that and we could make it happen. But if you give us something that we have to do that is open-ended and has no real definition, it's not going to happen. We are going to put it off and put it off, just like we did at school with schoolwork that we had to do, long-term assignments and things. And then eventually we did come out smelling like a rose, but it was with a great price. So now, what I want you to do before we go on to talk about what you can do so that you can stay focused is I want you to accept yourself exactly the way you are and make yourself understand and feel like you don't need to change. You just need to do things a little bit differently, okay? You don't want to change. You don't want to get rid of your spontaneous nature, your fun-loving spirit. You don't want to get rid of that. You don't want to become rigid. You want it to be that and this, of course, is if you're right-brained, if you're challenged, right, by organizing with organization, right? If that's who you are, right? Then what you want to do is you want to be able to be exactly who you are, right? Which is, like I said, fun-loving, free-spirited, being able at any moment in time to get an idea and run with it if you want to, right? Not feel confined and put in a box by, well, my brain says I need to do this, right? And no, I can't do that because this has to happen now, right? We don't want that. At the same time, we don't want to be so scattered and so all over the place that we never get anything done. I call that doing a lot of nothing, right? Because the reason I call it that is because we really are doing a lot when we get nothing done. Because there's no focus, Pam Young, Peggy Jones, they quoted this, or they coined this. They said, we're like lightning, a lot of energy, but no direction. So the lightning will just go off in the air, lots of power there, but it goes nowhere because it has no focus and it has no direction. But there's a lot of power there, so we need to harness it. And that's what we're going to talk about now, all right? So, like I said, first thing you do, accept yourself. Love yourself just like you are. Now, no, you don't have to fix yourself. You just have to figure out, how do I do things differently? And here's how, some of the ways that you could do things differently. One thing is set a timer, okay? I know it sounds like, oh my God, really, lady? Honestly, it works. We are motivated, us right brain folks, we're motivated mainly by dings and whistles and fun and happy. And when we know that something has an end to it, we'll keep going, right? So we have a timer set for, say, 15 minutes. In our head, we're saying, I could do anything for 15 minutes. It's only 15 minutes. You're going to get to the 7-minute point and think that the clock broke, and you're going to have to go back and look at your phone and see if maybe you didn't set it or something. That's going to happen, but that's okay. Just say, oh my God, it was only 7 minutes. One of the reasons why we have to do that is because we have a warped perception of time. We think that everything takes so long. We think that, oh, I can't get to that. It's going to take too long. And when we set a timer and we stick to it, we're able to not only get something done that we needed to focus on, but also we will start to train ourselves that things don't take as long as I think they do. And then the next time you go to do a task, even if you're saying to yourself, I can't do that, you're going to say, no, I could do this. I remember the last time I set a timer for 15 minutes, okay? So that's one thing. Another thing is you need veto power, okay? You need to have that power within you to say no, okay? Like, some of the things we need to learn are from the organizationally gifted people. And we know that these people are good, kind people, but they say no a lot, right? We don't ever think that they're horrible because they're saying no, right? We think that they're just, normal people who have some boundaries and know what's going on in their life. So what they'll do is you'll say, can you bake 50,000 cookies for church tomorrow? Now, granted, no organizationally gifted person would say yes to that. Only the organizationally challenged people would, because they would know right off the bat that the person that asked them that waited till the last minute, and they're like, I'm not going to, fix your train wreck, buddy, no. But let me get less of an exaggeration, okay? If an organizationally challenged person goes up to an organizationally gifted person and says, do you think you could help me out next Wednesday? I need a ride from the airport. Or do you think you could help me next week on Tuesday? I need a babysitter just between 12 and 1 p.m. And I know that you're home on Wednesdays. And of course, this person is somebody that would normally babysit for you without a drop of a hat, right? So what they would say is, you know what? I really would love to do that. I haven't seen Jimmy in a long time. God, I love little Jimmy, but I've got to check my calendar. And I don't have it with me here. And even if I did, I've got to ask Jim, who is her husband, who was named after little Jimmy. So I got to ask Jim. And as soon as I do, I'll call you back. Now, when you heard that from Martha, right? When you heard that from her, you're not saying to yourself, what a biatch, right? You're not. You're saying, okay, as soon as you find out, well, you call me tonight, right? And then that's it. And then tonight comes, you get a phone call, because you will, because she's organizationally gifted, and she tells you, I checked my calendar and I checked with Jim, and we'd love to have Jimmy on Wednesday. Okay, and then that's that. See how that happens? Or guess what she might do? She might say, gee, I'm so sorry, Martha. I'm not able to take him on Wednesday. Jim told me that something came up at work and I need to be with him for da-da-da, right? And then you'd be like this, all right, thanks for letting me know so soon. And then you go off and you find somebody else. We need to do that, right? We need to think about what we've got to do first, what's important to us, what we need done, and then use that veto power, not only with other people, but holy mackerel, with yourself, okay? So when you are saying, okay, I need to do this, I need to get the dining room set up for the party, or I need to finish this report for whatever, I need to, whatever it is, I need to get these dishes done, right? It doesn't have to be some monumental thing, right? Because it's all of those little non-monumental things that makes our lives suck, right? With having to do so much of stuff that you know could have taken just a few minutes. So no matter what it is that you're standing at the sink and you're thinking, oh, wait a minute, there was that email I had to read. Oh, wait a minute, there was that phone call I had to write. Oh, wait a minute, wasn't that thing on sale yesterday? Oh, wait a minute, didn't somebody ask me to look up the name of that restaurant? No. You use your veto power in your own brain with your own self, okay? You have to recognize that this is what happens to you, and so that's what you do. You say, oh, no, 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 I recognize this. I know who I am. I know what I do. But the thing is we want to have fun, and we can't have fun with all this stuff looming in our head. So let's do this so we could have fun and not put it off and then feel like crap because of all the stuff we have to do. So that's another one, veto power, okay? Let's see, what are some of the other things that we need to do to stay focused? Have a list. Now, no, don't get crazy on me here. Not a list that you write on a piece of paper and you carry around with you, one that you write and then you carry on the next one to the next day. No, don't do that. You know that those things make you crazy, and then you feel like you're such a loser because you're like, oh my God, all this stuff I have written on the paper and I'm not doing any of it. I can't believe none of that, all right? One thing is, it's great to have a binder, okay, like a 3-ring binder. I have a 3-ring binder. All of my people have a 3-ring binder. I actually have 2 3-ring binders, one to manage my home and life, and one that I have aside for like courses that I take, so that I have dividers in there for specific courses, or even sometimes a book that I'm reading that I like to keep notes on because some books are kind of complicated. So that's what I have, all right? So get a binder. A binder is a great thing to have. And as you go on with me, you'll see all the other reasons that you'll need one, okay? So get a binder, and this way, when you write things down, you know exactly where they are. They're not going to be on a piece of paper flying around somewhere that you can't find, okay? One of the things you're going to want to do for the writing down thing, so that you don't feel overwhelmed and you can't even get the pen to the paper, is do what I call a brain dump, okay? Have on one piece of side of the paper everything that's on your mind, everything. On the other side of the piece of paper, look at the 3 things on that side. Actually, just take the first one. Look at all the things you wrote on one side of the paper, things that you need to do, things that have been bothering you, things that you've been putting off, anything, right? Like, I need it, like anything, okay? They don't have to be like to-dos. They could just be something that's keeping you up at night, right? When you do that, you're going to find out you have a lot less to do than you think you did. It's a lot more manageable than you thought it was. So you look at that and you say, what's the first thing? One thing, what's the main thing on this list that will make me the most happy? That's what you want to go with, okay? Don't go with the first thing that will make you feel good about yourself, or that will make your sister feel good about you, or that is the most productive. Don't do that. The first thing that would make you the most happy to get done. And then put a time on it, right? Say 30 minutes to get that particular thing due. And just stay laser focused on that one thing that you're going to do with your timer set, right? Then do the next thing, right? Think about the next thing. And generally what I like to do for the second thing is something that has like a time frame on it, like maybe maybe like it's something that you might have a fine for, like if you don't do it, you'll get in trouble somehow. Like maybe you need to pay a ticket, maybe you need to renew your driver's license, maybe you need to renew your registration. Maybe you need to call the insurance company, like something that kind of like, if you don't do it, there's going to be a penalty. So that's the second thing you should do that's on that list, okay? So having a list of things that you know you need to do, and then moving them from the brain dump side to the other side of the paper. That's all right. These are important. These will make me the most happy. These are important for me to do. And these are things that I need to do, right? Then you could plug them into your calendar, okay? Don't make yourself crazy thinking, oh my God, I have this list, I have to do it all today. You don't, right? If you schedule it, you can sleep at night. You could feel good about things. Even if things are like all awry around you and stuff, you'll feel like you're okay. You got the reins of this thing. You got it all written down. You're going to get to it. And then you decide, when will I do this? All right, well, how important is this? Well, these are some things that I could do now. Do them, right? And then, all right, these are the things I couldn't do now. Put them in your calendar, right? Now, a lot of the things on the other side of the page are stuff you really don't have to do anything about, or you don't have to care about now. But one thing I want to tell you is, don't carry that list on to the next day. Schedule in, plug in those things that you determined were the best things for you to do on other days of the week, and be done with that other list, okay? Sometimes I will look at that other list just to see, you know, is there anything in there that I'd like to do today? But I will never look at that list and say, is there anything here that I forgot about, that I didn't do, that I've screwed up on? Come on, right? It's going to be there. If it's not going to be there, why do that to ourselves, right? We know already that we wrote everything on the other side of the list that was most important. We know that we put it in our calendar, right? Now, does it mean that when you go to your calendar, you're going to do it? Not necessarily. You've got to look at your calendar. And that's another thing that will really help you focus. Have a ritual for yourself before bed. Take a look at your calendar. What do you have going on tomorrow, right? Make it like you're a project, like you're taking care of you, like this is like you're the CEO of your life, right? Look at your calendar and say, what do I have going on tomorrow? Oh, Jimmy has to get picked up I'm watching him tomorrow. And then you know, okay, that's what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm picking up Jimmy. Okay, you got that, right? Well, is there something you need to do? Is there, you know, sometimes there's something that happens tomorrow that we end up being like crazy people about, because we're like, why didn't that happen? Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. When really, if we just slow down a little, we realize if we just would have thought a little bit, we could have gotten gas earlier that day or the day before. We could have filled up that tire that we knew we needed filled up. We could have printed out those directions that we know sometimes our GPS gets all funky, right? A lot of times we blame the outside source when really it's the inside, right? Simply by not just thinking about tomorrow. Do you have anything special you need to wear tomorrow? You know, that kind of thing really, really helps you to stay focused and to be ready to do what it is you need to do. Sometimes we're just not focused because we just don't know what to do, and it's last minute and we get crazy. And when we get crazy about our situation, what happens? We shut down, right? We shut down, and that's never good. Okay, so I'm done there. I'm going to look and see if anybody, Ann said, thanks for addressing this. You're welcome. Anybody else have anything to say? I'm looking at the comments right here. If not, I'll sign out. Right now where you are is this little eave in my house that I live in right now. It's the only place that I could actually do a video. It's in renovation. And I was going to do it in that direction, which would have been great, but the painters were just here and the switch plate cover is off. And I'm like, well, that ain't going to work. You know, just is one thing is crazy, but it's really exciting. It's really exciting. It's really fun. And when it's all done, I'll have a lot more of things to share with you, because boy, am I learning a lot about relationships, about keeping the house clean during a renovation. Oh gosh, about so many things, about staying organized. Here, look, one thing. this is a bonus. You're getting this for free. See, this is my binder. This is the one I use for my courses, and you can't tell. It's covered. You can't tell. It's covered in dust. You know, the dust stuff, right? That's one major tip, okay, is be really careful. Like, yeah, they put plastic up and stuff, but I wasn't careful to make sure that everything that I had was not there. I do that now, boy do I do that now, because it could be nuts. Okay, Jen said, I also like your suggestion, pretend it's tomorrow. What would you be needing to do? Yes, I know. I love that too. And I do that to myself all the time. Because what happens for me, thank you, Jen. What happens for me is I wake up in the morning and then I start moving. And then I say, oh, brother, I have so much to prepare for. I could have did this last night. But somehow, when it's last night, I don't know what it is, but it's just not in my head. I'm not in the mode. So what I do is I pretend it's tomorrow. I actually get myself in a position where I feel like I just woke up and I'm getting started. And then I think, oh, well, all right, I'm just getting up and getting started. What would you do? This. Oh, I could do that now. All right, I'm just getting up and I'm getting started. What would I do with this? Okay, I'll do that now. See what I mean? It's not the same things like when you're like your morning routine that you have. You know, you wake up, get in the shower, bathroom swish, get dressed, brush your teeth, put on your tea, you know, like tidy your room, make your bed, drink your water, put your clothes in the dryer, you know, like the thing that's kind of like static. I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about like starting your day so that you grab your keys, you walk out the door, or you grab your notebook, you sit at your desk, right? You're ready, you're done. You grab your phone, you make that phone call where you're not being like, oh no, what was his name, number, where was his office? See what I mean? Those are the things I'm talking about with that, right? So that was a really great help, because that really, I think, tied it all in together with the inability to focus with too many things going on. But wait, one more thing about the whole too many things going on, all right? That's a story. It's a story you're telling yourself. You don't have, if it might be true that you've overextended yourself. We are very, very notorious for that, overextending ourselves. You could stop that today, right? As soon as you have cleared up all the commitments that you made, put the say no habit in there and be like, no, I'm going to take care of me. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not selfish, and I'm not going to overextend myself again. It never helps anybody. It actually ends up hurting people. So I'm not going to do that anymore. Great. But sometimes it's not that we're overextended. It's just that we have this perception that's different from us than other people. There are people out there with little kids in wheelchairs, with disabilities themselves, with full-time jobs that drive them to daycare, pick them up, have a mother at home maybe that is, that is dependent on them, main breadwinner, right? This is somebody I'm describing here. I'm not making this person up, right? This person existed, okay? And exists, all right? They're all out there. We really have to just step back and say, if it's on my plate, I could do it. I don't have too much going on. I don't. And if there is too much going on, guess what? Nobody's got me chained to this to-do list. Nobody has signed me up for that. If I sign myself up for it, I'll own it and then do my best to not let that happen again. But the fact is, we're not victims, right? And if we're able, if other people are able to get it done and get things done, so are we. It's really just scheduling the things in. That's really, really all it is. Focusing, veto power, making the list, making a plan, sticking to it, and saying no. And that veto power is the biggest one. You've got to be your own mommy. You've got to be like, well, this is important. And if it turns out that you're not doing it, then just face it. It ain't that important to you. Okay? Sometimes we just got to take responsibility for our own lives and realize things are the way they are because I choose to do things this way. If you don't know how, that's a whole nother story. But once you learn, we're now responsible, right? Okay, so that's that. Thanks a lot for that, Jen. Let's see. First thing, catching you live. Yay! Oh, that's so great. Thanks, Carrie. Nice to see you. Jen said, yay, me too. I couldn't plan tomorrow until I started to follow that suggestion of yours. It's such a brilliant suggestion. Thank you, Jen. And it's funny that I really don't mention that all that often. I know that I have, and you've been with me for a long time, so I know you know it. But I'm going to have to, I think I'm going to make sure that it's in the new TTU, that I have that in there about the Prepare for Tomorrow, doing it like a pretend thing, because I don't think I do. Thanks for reminding me about it. Okay, so now I'll sign out. It was really great to be with you today. I try to do a Facebook Live every Monday. Then I get the Facebook Live up, I save it, I edit it, I get it on YouTube, and then I share it in email. So if you're not part of my email list, because you don't always see my Facebook Lives, because Facebook has a way of hiding things from people because they want your ad work or whatever that's called, you know, your ad something, ad dollars, then you can sign up for my email list. You can go to my website, tidytutor.com, and there's a place for you to put in your name and email, and you'll get 1 tip a day for 10 days. They've been around for a long time, and I'm still getting love from them. I also have a book, a free ebook on there. That is, and that's part of my Sidetracked nature, because it really should be in paperback and it should be on Kindle, but it's not. It's there for free for you guys. So if you want that too, it'll get you on my email list as well. All right. And if you hate email, it's all right. Keep hooking up with me on Facebook. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys. Bye.